As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So, I read a story about a farmer whose plow broke just before the beginning of the planting season. And he decided he was going to borrow his neighbor's plow. But he gave it a week to make sure that his neighbor had finished plowing his own farm land before he went over to borrow his neighbor's plow. And the neighbor was about 4 farm plots away. So one fine morning, the farmer with the broken plow, decided to walk over to his neighbor's farmland to borrow the plow. And 1 farm plot into his walk over to his neighbor, he had a thought. And that thought was, what if my neighbor is not done plowing? He won't be able to loan out his plow if he's not done. Mark you, this farmer didn't know for sure if his neighbor wasn't done plowing. It was just a thought. And that thought blinded him to what his experience over the years had been, that by that time of the year, most farmers were done plowing and just about ready to start planting. So he dwelt on that thought for a little bit, but decided he was going to continue walking on. Another thought popped on his mind, and what if my neighbor's plow is also broken? And he also entertained that thought for a little while, yet he continued walking on. And then another thought popped up on his mind. And that thought was, I have heard my neighbor is a pretty mean and unkind man. Even if his plow is in pristine condition, I highly doubt that he would be willing to loan out his plow to a fellow farmer in need. And it was one negative thought after the other, one negative thought after the other, and one negative thought after the other. But he continued walking on until he arrived his neighbor's home, knocked on the door, and the neighbor answered the door, and with a broad smile on his face, he asked, "How may I help you, sir?" And this farmer that had walked 4 farm plots from his farm to borrow a plow blurted out, "I don't need your cheap plow. You can take it and do whatever you want with it." And then he turned around and walked away. This neighbor was confused because he didn't know what was going on. But the farmer with the broken plow had to walk all the way home without the plow. Not because his neighbor had denied him the plow, not because he had asked and the plow was broken, but he based his judgment on the negative thoughts that he had been entertaining all through his walk to the neighbors. You know, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So guard your heart. Sometimes we don't achieve the things we set out to achieve, or we ruin precious relationships because of negative thoughts. Not just the thoughts that pop up on our minds, but thoughts that arise from the negative things we've heard about other people, about other people's experiences, and we entertain those thoughts. What we feed grows. and does literally affect us even more than we would care to admit. So it is important that we guard our hearts. As a man thinks, so is he. If you think negatively, negative things will find you. If you think positively of people, if you think positively of situations, hey, life will be easier and more pleasant. I hope this new week is filled with goodness and mercy and an abundance of positivity. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the week. Thank you, and bye-bye.